So good morning. My name is Jamie Graham Thomas, and I am delighted to welcome everyone here. And as a worship assistant, I feel so blessed to be here, to serve you, to be part of this community. Thank you for joining us this morning. And it was wonderful to live through and witness that full lunar eclipse and make it through the other side and be here to get today. I'm so glad all of you are here on this brand new morning, in this brand new world, ever-changing world as we gather together in peace. Our words of welcome this morning are adapted from The Beauty of the Whole by the Reverend Meg Barnhouse. We gather to worship, our hearts alive with hope that here we will truly be seen, that here we will be welcomed into the embrace of this community, where the simple and the elegant, the shy and the dramatic complement each other, and are treasured. May we know that here each contributes in their own way to the beauty of the whole. Come and let us worship together, all genders, sexualities, races, and ethnicities, ages and disabilities, and different abilities. All politics, progressives, and conservatives, and all beliefs. May we root ourselves in the values of this faith: compassion and courage, justice and transformation, transcendence and love. Whoever you are, and because of who you are welcome here. And of course, I'd especially like to welcome any guests we have this morning. Thank you for taking the chance to be here, to sit with us for the next hour. And please stay for coffee and fellowship after our service. Today's service is We welcome the Reverend Cindy with us. And her description of the service is that Unitarian Universalist beliefs are diverse and inclusive. We have no shared creed. Together, though, we create a force more powerful than one person or one belief system. Our shared covenant is expressed through the inseparable and deeply interdependent shared values of independence, pluralism, and justice, transformation, generosity, and equity, all centered around love. Let us turn to these values as guiding lights in the dark skies of these times.
So we're going to do this song. You'll get the chorus very quickly. Please sing with us if you would. Why have you come to us? Do you remember? Why have you taken birth? remember
I invite you now into worship with the words of Esther Holbert. It is not always easy to find love at the center. There's not a set of instructions numbered 1 through 7 or 8. It's not always easy to find love at the center. Today, in covenant with one another, we celebrate our living tradition, which invites us to take deep breaths of fresh air into the newness of every day, so our minds, our hearts, and spirits will be continually nourished. It's not always easy to find love at the center. So for today, we gather in covenant to celebrate the reality that love is at the core of our beings, and that love will guide us if we open ourselves to the challenges which love requires of us. May we accept this challenge with dignity and grace as we enter into worship together.
Light our chalice this morning with the words by Erica Hewitt, to be a Unitarian Universalist. As we light this chalice, let us remember that to be a Unitarian Universalist means we'll never be done with the work of telling the truth about oppression, the work of resisting any laws, policies, or practices that deny anyone their humanity, the work of stubbornly seeking out the spark of the divine in each other, no matter what, the work of creating heaven on earth. And to be a Unitarian Universalist also means that we are not alone in the work. We are not alone because of our promises to love one another. We are not alone because we are companions on the journey. We grow ourselves into allies, helping one another get free, because none of us is truly free until we are all free. I invite you to join in the unison affirmation that's printed in the order of service and also appears on the screen as I light our chalice. To serve the spirit of life in affection and trusting hope.
I think that's next. Let's see. No, time for all ages. I was right. So, our values and principles are like stars that help to guide us in all times, but maybe most importantly when the skies around us are dark. These values and principles that we uphold remind us how to be in community together. And to illustrate this, I'm going to need just a moment to prepare. I'm going to need some volunteers to be human mirrors. So one at a time, I'd like you to act like you're a human mirror. I'm going to ask you to maybe stand up, and you're going to say, "You have something on your face." Do I? After that, I'm going to respond to what you've told me, and then it'll be somebody else's turn. So you got that? So, who is the first person that wants to be so bold?
You have something on your face.
No, I don't. I don't have anything on my face. What are you talking about? Who's next? Okay.
Excuse me, but you've got something on your face.
You're wrong. I am not going to listen to you. Funny you should say that, because you are the one who has something on your face. You must be joking. I am an expert face washer. I have studied face washing for years, I'll have you know. Anybody else? Yeah. Oh, well, How dare you tell me I have something on my face? You don't get to play with me anymore.
You do have something on your face.
How dare you tell me that I have something on my face? I'm going to leave this game now. Anybody else? Anybody else?
Excuse me, Cindy. You have something on your face.
I have something on my face. What's wrong with me? I'm going to go back to bed. Anybody else? Oh, everybody has something on their face. So why even mention it? There's nothing we can do about it. It's always going to be this way. Yeah?
I just took a picture of you. This is it.
I have something on my face. Thank you for telling me. I've been washing it away bit by bit, but I guess it's stickier than I thought. And I really appreciate you telling me that. And would you be willing somebody to help me wash this off? Is there anybody that will help me wash this off? Will you help me? I take a while. Just rub. As much as you can. Okay, so when you think about being in community together and what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist, which response did you think was the best one? So do you think it was the first one when I said there was nothing on my face? How about, was it the one where I said, I'm not going to play with you anymore? You know, sometimes when we are building community together, it's important to listen to what other people have to say, even if we might not want to hear it at first. But we do that because it is part of our covenants, part of the promise we make to one another. There are times when we need to hear news or feedback that causes us discomfort, but in hearing it and responding constructively with curiosity and humility, we can more easily go about building beloved community. And this is especially true when it comes to feedback about how cultural privilege along race, gender, gender identity, disability, sexual orientation, class impacts others. This little activity that we had this morning demonstrates the many ways that we might respond, some quite unskillful, and ending with something that affirms our covenant, our promise of the way that we hope to be in relationship with one another. So thank you for playing along, and I will keep playing with all of you for a while longer. So at this time, if there are children in our midst who would like to go downstairs, we're going to sing you out. So it is, what, 4:14? Here it is. Okay. This friendly place. Love gives light to every face. May the kindness that you learn light your hearts till you return.
Each Sunday during worship, we set aside a time which we lift up words of wisdom from those voices who do not receive the attention they deserve. This is one way we strive to deepen our commitment to create a world where all are seen as whole and holy, in which practices of kindness are viewed as deep spiritual works that benefit everyone. Today, we offer the music and words of Leah Morris, Born in Washington, D.C., to a father who toured the world playing trumpet in a funk band and a mother who dreamed of opera, Leah began singing in the Baptist church as soon as she could speak. In high school, she started teaching herself to play acoustic guitar by writing songs. And then she embarked on an exchange year in Halle, Germany, where the artist dabbled in classical, jazz, and pop. Leah's voice and musicianship are often heard on recordings by Stockfish Records, for whom she frequently provides backing vocals. In fact, she has been nominated for and won several awards, including Best Vocalist, Best Recording, and Songwriter of the Year. Leah is well known to this congregation. During the pandemic, she led members of UUG in their creation of our closing ritual, Safe Passage. And a few years ago, she presented a concert here in Gettysburg filled with her encouragement to live, deeply principled and values of our UU faith. Here in word and song is a message to all of us from Leah. Please enjoy.
Don't give in to the chaos. Keep your focus on the light. You are not alone, all is not lost. Do not give up the fight. Just keep moving toward the world we can become. We got to keep moving, and we will not slow down till the day is won. Don't believe in the nonsense. Clear your mind and stand your ground. If I rise up and you take my side, they will never knock us down. We got to keep moving, to keep the faith and hold the line. We're gonna keep moving and show the tyrants we are of one mind. Don't give in to the chaos. Keep your focus on the light. We are not alone, all is not lost. Do not give up the fight. We will not back down, we have not lost. We will not give up, we will not give up the fight. We will not back down, all is not lost. We will not give up, we will not give up the fight. Don't give up the fight. No, we're gonna rise. Hey, we're gonna rise. We are gonna rise. Yeah, we're gonna rise. Oh, we are gonna rise. Yeah, we're gonna rise.
I invite you into a time of meditation, prayer, and reflection with words inspired by Andrea Hawkins Camper. O holiest of holies, Jesus spoke so many years ago of those who are most blessed, the poor, the hungry, the broken, and rejected. Those words ring true today despite the powers that seek to erase them. Help us to remember that blessed are we who gather with open hearts together in this space today. Blessed are we, the chalice lighters of resistance, justice, love, and faith. Blessed are we, the heretics, the outcasts, the walkers of our own way. Blessed are we, the border crossers, the refugees, the immigrants, the poor, the wanderers who are not lost. Blessed are we, the transgressors, the transpassers, the passers-by, the cause takers, the defiant, the compliant. Blessed are we, the hand extenders, the sign makers, the protesters, the protectors. Blessed are we, the trans women, the trans men, the non-binary, the cisgender, the multigender, the no gender. Blessed are we, the friend, the stranger, the lonely, the hidden, the visible, the authentic. Blessed are we who rise in solidarity. Blessed are we who cannot. Blessed are we who do not. Blessed are we. For this is our beloved community, and this is who we are. And we'll sing together, Spirit of Life. And I think we're going to do this a cappella, so here we go. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirring of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hands, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. You know, there's a message that's been expressed again and again with slight variations over the past many months, a message that asks us to join together in community, that asks us to not lose hope, a message that asks us to center love in these most challenging times. You know, and sometimes we might think that this message may begin to feel too repetitive, but it's a message that is really important, and I know that I need to hear it again and again and again. Today is no exception. For the past several years, my offering at the annual auction has been to give a sermon on a topic chosen by the person who won the bid or the people who have won the bid. And this year the bid was won by Pat and Dick Shope. And the topic that they chose was to consider how we can truly use our values and principles during difficult times. You know, after all, what is the point of having principles, of having values written down, codified, periodically reviewed for needed changes if we are not intent upon actually thinking about what they mean and incorporating them into our daily lives? I think everybody has been handed a paper with the principles and values that UUs hold at the center of our faith. The tech team will put that in the chat for those who are joining us remotely. And I'm going to take a moment to read these aloud. So our 8 principles at this point are: we respect the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We strive for justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. We seek acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. We encourage a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We recognize the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and society at large. We strive for the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. We respect the interdependent web of all existence, of which we are most assuredly a part. We encourage journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions. So all of those principles are embedded in our values of pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, interdependence, equity, and all of this holds love at the center. Now, I could spend some time telling you what I think about all of this from my singular perspective, but you know, I think it's much more useful to engage the collective wisdom, the collective mind that's gathered here, to activate our combined conscious awareness to delve a bit deeper into what these principles and values mean to this gathered body, and to explore how we have and how we can continue to activate these ideas and incorporate them into our lives so that they truly become guiding stars in our lives, that they're more than just something we see on a slip of paper. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take a few moments with some really nice ambient music, and this piece I thought was aptly titled Seeds of Growth by Malte Martin. It's going to play in the background. So I'm going to give you a few moments. I'll signal Jason when it's time to stop reflecting that way. And then during this time, what I'd like you to consider is which of these principles and values are easiest for you to enact in your life, which are most challenging. Which of these have you consciously engaged in the past month or so? And then lastly, think about which of these principles and values are you going to commit to consciously embodying in the next week. So there's going to be a little bit of music now, and just look over that sheet. And if anybody doesn't have that sheet, raise your hand and we'll get it to you. Okay, we'll wind that music down now. So I'm going to walk around and, a couple people, which principles or values are the easiest for you to incorporate in your life? So who has a thought there that you'd like to share? Because this is what works, crowdsourcing, right? So none of these are easy for anybody. Okay, we have somebody back here.
I'd have to say that in the last couple of years, interdependence is the one that I've noticed the most. And the hardest one for me would be justice, because it's kind of debatable as to what justice means and whether punishment is involved in that. And, I don't know. That's the one that I'm most confused about.
Thank you. Anybody else find anyone?
Yeah, I really like the eighth principle, and I find that it is the most interesting and needed, and I strive to continue to work with the eighth principle.
Thank you. Anybody else have a thought on that? So we've got some challenges. We've got some that are a bit easier. We had several head nods to how do we incorporate and really practice trusting that we can see the inherent worth and dignity in one another, in everyone.
Equity is calling to me. I think that's what I'm called to fight for. In these times that are turning so dark, when we were recently told that if you speak out against me, it should be illegal, well, I think equity is what needs to be fought for most of all in these dark times.
Any other final challenges with what's easiest, what's most challenging?
Actually, I was thinking about what was easiest for me because they all seem pretty hard. And I guess the easiest for me is transformation, adapting to the changing world. And I think I owe that to a misspent youth reading lots of science fiction.
Maybe not so misspent. So this next question might be, might have to dig a little bit deeper. So who's ready to share one thing that you've done recently that was guided by these values and principles? And maybe not so difficult. So who is thinking about how you engage the world and your engagement is based in some fashion on these values and principles? I know you have. Okay, back here.
On Friday, I went to Washington, D.C. to march with veterans in front of the Capitol. And that's something that's very challenging for me. So, but it was my desire to have justice for my fellow veterans and to make sure that that community is represented that put me there. So.
I am always posting my thoughts on Facebook site, and that helps personally me, and if it helps someone else, great.
Who's written a letter? Who's made a phone call? Who's reached out to somebody that maybe you haven't reached out to in a while to just say, I see you. This is hard right now. How can we journey together?
Well, we've recently reached out to people in our circle who we know are really struggling, and slipping into despair. And we recently put together a set of quotations about hope and, not being optimism or expecting a particular outcome, but an anchor within and a state of mind that we can cultivate. And we've been asking people to dinner and sharing the quote. We've been circulating it with our friends. And I wanted to say one thing about transformation that I was reflecting on, because I noticed it said, we adapt to the changing world. And I was thinking, because I work on self-transformation within and how that then can be manifested in community and in the world. And because I think that so much of what we're seeing in the world is a result of great indifference and apathy on many people. And I think our world would look very different if more folks got involved in change and work. And so I think transformation involves awareness, examining yourself, reflection, and a real conscious effort to look within and make your own self change. And then how is that reflected in my community and the world around me?
So, last question. Who's willing to say something that you are going to commit to doing in the next week that's based on these values and principle? Who's going to maybe spend some time thinking about what transformation means? Who's going to dig a little more deeply into what equity means and how that we might be able to do what we can, even in these times, to move toward a society that is more equitable? Who's going to work to center love in your interactions with one another? So I've given you a few jump starts. Who's going to be brave enough to say, yeah, in the next week, I am going to make space for this?
Sean Fink had spent some time with us on a Sunday and was talking about the idea of glimmers instead of triggers. So based on her service, I went home and made a glimmer jar, and I sit it on the counter in my school library. And when good things happen that bring us joy, I write them on a piece of paper and I put them in there. And I realized that I've been the one writing them down. So now I'm going to give the pen to the children.
Stacy and Julie and I have been talking about how nervous we are for our neighbors here in Gettysburg and for some of our own members here at church. And so I wasn't part of that conversation about writing a mission statement. Can you articulate that?
Just the need to write a mission statement with love at the center of, what are we able to do and how do we do it? So that's the focus for us going forward. Also, everyone can do this by going to the Unity dinner. Right, Betty?
So there's a lot to think about, and there is a lot that each one of us can do. And it's really important, if you value this community, which I think you do, or you wouldn't give it up this Sunday morning that's running overtime. If you value what Unitarian Universalism proposes to be, we are aspirational. We are not living these 100% every moment of the day, and that's not the expectation, but it's the mark that we go towards. If you have other things that you value in your life, if the Bible speaks to you, if the Quran speaks to you, any other holy book, if there's something in People magazine that glimmers your heart, think about what's speaking to you and how you can really own that. And we have this capacity, and nobody can take that from you. No matter how dark the sky gets, you have this capacity, and don't kid yourself otherwise. Own it. Resources are everywhere. They're available every day to help us find our way when things seem dark. There are so many stars to guide by, and there is an awful lot of terrible news confronting us pretty much every hour. It changes a lot. But don't forget all of the things that are not making the daily news cycle. There is so much going on. Find those places to connect, whether it's here, whether it's through the Unity Dinner, whether it's going to March in Washington. There are connections to be made. We need to see one another as human beings walking so imperfectly in this world. You're going to know what is yours to pick up. You're going to know what is calling you to do. Refer to those glimmers, refer to those sacred words, to those everyday words that inspire you. You know, and in addition to our values and principles, one of the guiding lights that I have been turning to recently is the book, How We Learn to Be Brave by the Right Reverend Marian Edgar Buddy. And you may recall that she gave the sermon at the Washington National Cathedral urging Mr. Trump to show mercy to the most vulnerable, which was clearly an act of bravery. And it was so well received. But in this book, she says, we all want to be brave when it counts. We want to be the one who steps up, leans in and does the right thing when it matters. We want to bring our best selves when we're called upon. Yet decisive moments are almost always preceded by seasons of preparation. How we prepare for decisive moments determines our ability to step up to them when they come. The capacity to respond in such a moment doesn't drop from the sky. Moments like these are preceded by seasons of preparation, practice, and intentions of making countless daily decisions that determine our capacity to be brave when called upon or when we're summoned, not of our own choosing. Most of the defining moments of life never make the news. Most are personal, some are private, yet all are the moments that shape our lives and make us the people we are and who we are called to become. The courage to be brave when it matters most requires a lifetime, you're not done, of small decisions that set us on a path of self-awareness, attentiveness, and willingness to risk failure for what we believe is right. It is also a profoundly spiritual experience, one in which we feel a part of something larger than ourselves and guided somehow by a larger spirit at work in the world and in us. It takes courage to accept and fully live the lives that we have been given. Our principles and values practiced in the context of this community, in the context of our everyday lives, provide just the kind of guidance that we need, moment by moment, day by day. May these stars in the night always serve to guide your way home. These closing words are by Julian Jamaica Soto. In this community, we hold hope close. We don't always know what comes next, but that cannot dissuade us. We don't always know just what to do, but that will not mean that we are lost in the wilderness. We rely on the certainty beneath the foundation of our values and ethics. We are the people who return to love like a North Star and to the truth that we are greater together than we are alone. Our hope does not live in some glimmer of an indistinct future. Rather, we know the way to the world of which we dream, and by covenant and the movement forward of one right action and the next, we know that one day we will arrive home.
Please join in the unison extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame. These we carry in our hearts and in our hands until we are together again. Our closing ritual is, as we mentioned before, brought to us by Leah Morris and our UUG choir. So please join hands, clasp arms, form a circle-ish amoeba shape, and sing Safe Passage.